So they wipe off his gloves, but you look at him like he's really feeling it right now.
He said, and everybody knows, he's not a real boxer. There's levels to this game, and he was way out of his level.
The drama surrounding Logan Paul's audacious $100 million challenge to Anthony Joshua has sent shockwaves through the boxing world, leaving fans, pundits, and professionals alike both incredulous and captivated. It all began on a stage charged with electric anticipation, where Logan Paul, the YouTube sensation turned boxer, faced off against the towering figure of Anthony Joshua. The atmosphere was almost tangible, a heavy mix of disbelief and curiosity. Logan didn't shy away from the spotlight. He leaned into it, boldly proclaiming that if Joshua could land a knockout on him, he would pay out a staggering $100 million. The declaration wasn't subtle, it wasn't even cautious. It was a gauntlet thrown, a public dare that seemed more rooted in fantasy than reality. And yet the audacity of it drew gasps and whispers from the crowd. Here was a man attempting to position himself as the unlikeliest hero of the heavyweight division, a self-styled miracle worker who believed that sheer bravado and one well-placed punch could bridge an insurmountable gap between online hype and elite boxing skill. Logan's confidence radiated through every syllable he uttered. He painted a picture of the impossible, claiming this fight could become the biggest shock in sports history. It was, to anyone with eyes in the boxing community, an exercise in ego rather than skill. This was not the quiet assurance of a seasoned fighter. It was the desperate roar of someone trying to convince himself, and everyone watching, that he belonged on a stage that had only ever been designed for trained, battle-tested athletes. Each word, each exaggerated gesture, was less about strategy and more about spectacle, a calculated bait meant to ignite curiosity and controversy. Yet the underlying reality remained unaltered. Logan Paul had not faced anyone with the technical proficiency, raw power, or tactical intelligence of a heavyweight champion like Anthony Joshua. His prior boxing experiences, carefully marketed as impressive milestones, amounted to exhibition matches against smaller, less skilled opponents, most notably the farcical sparring with Floyd Mayweather, a fight that was more about optics than competition. The moment Logan unleashed his audacious challenge, however, the backlash was immediate and unrelenting. His own brother, Jake Paul, did not hesitate to dismantle the fantasy before the world's eyes. On the very same stage, Jake tore into Logan's $100 million proposition with merciless precision, labeling it as nothing short of absurd. His words were sharp, unforgiving, a brutal reality check that left Logan floundering in public embarrassment. Jake, who had cultivated his boxing skills through rigorous training with professional coaches, knew firsthand the gap between YouTube theatrics and actual combat prowess. He made it crystal clear: Anthony Joshua was not a man to be toyed with, and Logan's inflated bravado changed nothing about that cold, hard truth. The criticism did not end with familial intervention. Voices from the boxing world, some of the most respected in the sport, echoed in unison, painting a grim picture for Logan Paul's ambitions. Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King, known for his sharp tongue and unyielding authority, did not mince words. Fury's analysis was scathing. Logan's overconfidence, entitlement, and ignorance of the sport's fundamentals were glaring. This was not a playground, this was a crucible, and Logan's public challenge was a spectacle of reckless naivety. Fury's voice carried the weight of years at the top of the sport, and his condemnation left little room for doubt. This was a man fundamentally out of his depth, risking not only humiliation but real physical danger. Tony Bellew, another respected figure, echoed Fury's assessment, describing Logan's audacity as sheer madness. He struggled to comprehend how someone so inexperienced could seriously entertain stepping into the ring with a heavyweight of Joshua's caliber. The mismatch, experts argued, was glaringly obvious. Unlike Jake Paul, Logan had no substantial training against elite opposition, no history of testing his abilities under real pressure, no exposure to the rigors of high-stakes combat. His previous exploits were spectacles, staged for entertainment rather than grounded in skill development. To ask him to face Joshua was akin to asking a child to navigate a storm in a battleship. The outcome was predictably catastrophic. The barrage continued. Duke McKenzie, never one to mince words, labeled Logan's boxing aspirations as pathetic, highlighting the vast canyon separating social media stunts from genuine competitive boxing. Every punch, every movement in the professional ring carries consequences that cannot be mitigated by followers, hype, or bravado. To ignore this reality was to flirt with disaster. Froch, known for his uncompromising honesty, described Logan's antics as a clown show and a chaotic circus, a public spectacle in which hype brazenly replaced substance. Froch's commentary underscored a chilling truth: boxing is unforgiving. There is no shortcut, no clever marketing strategy, no internet fame that can substitute for years of experience, tactical understanding, and physical preparation. Each ill-advised call-out, each exaggerated claim, compounded the danger, not only for Logan but for the credibility of those who encouraged the illusion of his readiness. Johnny Nelson, a veteran observer of the sport, delivered a particularly stinging critique, reminding viewers that Logan's so-called achievements in YouTube boxing were largely irrelevant in assessing his preparedness. Exhibition bouts against smaller opponents, social media spectacles, and viral stunts offered no real challenge, no opportunity for growth under pressure. Nelson emphasized that the boxing ring is a crucible that exposes weakness mercilessly. Logan had yet to face anyone who could truly test his skill, and stepping into the ring with Anthony Joshua would lay bare his limitations in the harshest possible way. Dana White, the ever-pragmatic UFC president, reinforced these observations. Drawing on Logan's previous bout with Floyd Mayweather, White illustrated how dangerous mismatched fights could be. A single well-placed punch from a seasoned professional could wreak havoc on a less experienced opponent. White's perspective highlighted a sobering reality. Logan Paul was not merely stepping into a challenge. Beyond his skill level, he was stepping into a world where the consequences could be severe and immediate. The combination of raw power, tactical intelligence, and ring experience that Joshua possessed was not a barrier to be negotiated by hype. It was an insurmountable wall of reality for someone of Logan's background. Luke McKenzie, reflecting on Anthony Joshua's performance, drove the point home with grim clarity. The fight was not merely a display of brute force. It was a methodical, humbling lesson. Logan Paul, fueled by ego and overconfidence, had asked for this reality check, and the professional heavyweight division delivered it with uncompromising efficiency. Age's precision, power, and strategic intelligence left Logan with a broken jaw and a public lesson in humility. McKenzie's commentary highlighted the luck involved. Logan escaped with his life and career largely intact, but the message was undeniable. The professional ring is a crucible, and it shows no mercy. Ariel Helwani, renowned analyst, broke down Joshua's technique with meticulous detail. Each punch carried devastating authority, each combination a testament to timing, reach, and calculated execution. The audience, from casual fans to seasoned experts, could hardly believe the sheer power and precision on display. Joshua's ability to control distance, maintain composure under pressure, and unleash knockout power with surgical precision highlighted the fundamental difference between seasoned professionals and inexperienced challengers. Spencer Brown further emphasized this unique dynamic, noting Joshua's remarkable comeback in the heavyweight division, his peak readiness, and his relentless drive. Behind the scenes, whispers of potential matchups with Tyson Fury only added to the anticipation, hinting at seismic shifts in the sport's elite hierarchy. Eddie Hearn, the seasoned promoter, offered the final authoritative perspective, dissecting Joshua's performance with surgical precision. The broken jaw and knockout were not random acts of violence. They were the culmination of careful preparation, tactical acumen, and professional excellence. Logan's toughness, to his credit, allowed him to endure more than most could. But the verdict was clear. The audacious challenge and overconfidence collided with reality, leaving a humbling aftermath. Anthony Joshua had once again affirmed his place among the sport's most formidable figures, demonstrating that hype cannot replace skill, experience, and calculated execution. The aftermath of the showdown leaves the world in awe, and Logan Paul facing difficult questions about his future. How does one recover from such a humbling experience? Can he ever step back into the ring without confronting the brutal truths of professional boxing? And, perhaps more compellingly, who could possibly challenge a dominant force like Anthony Joshua? Next, the sports landscape has shifted, the lines between spectacle and reality starkly drawn, and fans are left eagerly anticipating the next chapter, whether it will be a new contender rising through the ranks or the continuation of a heavyweight rivalry at the pinnacle of boxing. For viewers, the takeaway is clear. Boxing is a sport where experience, preparation, and skill are non-negotiable. Social media fame and internet bravado may grab attention, but in the ring, only the unrelenting reboxing history. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more in-depth analysis, dramatic recaps, and behind-the-scenes stories from the world of sports.